What's up, guys? So we are out here on another run. Out here running for all of y'all. Awesome, cool, super popular, awesome, creative, rich, successful. Yo, what's up? You name it. Right? You guys are the best. And for that comes value, right? When you acquire these traits, right? These attributes, these accolades, right? In the end, they're there to raise your value, make you a high value man or woman. And for that reason, you want to figure out how exactly to attain that high value or to prove it, right? When it comes, to becoming tested, which is what will happen to you right throughout your life. You'll have people who want to essentially verify your status, right, as high value, as a doer of good, which essentially is what you are. So, for that, we will give you 3 tips to show that you are a high value man or woman. So, without further ado, we will go into probably the most obvious, reason is financial, right? The money. You got your money figured out, right? That's what high value men and women do, right? They're able to take care of themselves, right? They're not dependent on any government or any outside source of money, right? They got to figure it out. A lot of them don't even have to work a day in their life anymore, right? They're, going to work is simply their choice, right? They don't live paycheck to paycheck. Well, and, from that, they have a sense of financial freedom, right? They're free, from potential, let's say, imprisonment or, the burden, of having to pay those finances, which is good, awesome, right? Because, without that responsibility, you can decide what you do with your time, because the time is essentially more valuable than the money itself. So the key is to figure out the money side before the time side burns out, because as we all know, we have a limited amount of time on this earth, right? That is the unfortunate thing of life. So you gotta make the most of it. You gotta have it handled and managed and so forth, and have your money situated, which is gonna open up a lot of free time for you. It's gonna make you powerful, because when you have power over your money, you're gonna have power over your time, and having power over those 2 things, they're gonna make you a high value man or woman. So, for that, take that into account, right? Go to school, get that education, right? Advance your income, raise it higher, save that money, right? Invest it, level up in a sense when it comes, to those marks. And, from that, your value will only increase and increase. You don't have to spend, unnecessarily. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff that you don't need, because the value ultimately doesn't come from those items per se, but in the amounts of wealth that it may take to purchase those items. So for you gotta think about that, right? Because it's not necessarily the Lamborghini or the beautiful house that gives you that value, right? It's only a sign, right? It's there to show people, yes, that you have all this money, you're able to purchase this, but the real true high value person is able to afford that and more. They know that those mechanisms are simply just, liabilities, right? They're taking money away from them, and they're able to acknowledge that and continue to grow their money and so forth grow their value. And way number 2 is through the body, right? High value men, you know, they have their bodies taken care of, right? They don't have to be, you know, a Ronnie Coleman or a Jay Cutler, right, in terms of you know, muscle mass and size and so forth, but you know, they have a certain degree of fitness, right? They're fit and healthy, right? You don't have to go overboard on your fitness, right? You just have to stay within a reasonable level, right? Probably between 12 and 8%. It's a good body fat percentage to shoot for. Anything really below that, you know, is kind of crazy. That's a lot of muscle. And above that, you probably want to push yourself to get a little lower, because it's definitely possible for you. And there's no knock on that. But, you know, in order to be high value, to be in that top percentile of men and women, you got to be fit, right, physically. And, you know, the fit is simply, you know, to have a high fitness level. It's not to be a full-blown, you know, warrior, right, steroid head bodybuilder guy or girl, but, you know, have your fitness taken care of, because the top 20% of people, you know, those are the ones in that body range. For guys, it's 8 to 12%. And, you know, from that, you'll be able to separate yourself from the pack and stick out in a sense, right? You won't be having, you know, significant health issues as well. You'll be in a good shape, right? You won't be so overblown on fitness that you get, you know, all sorts of, you know, ligaments and, you know, even like knee, shoulder issues, right? They might come nagging at you, but you also, you know, aren't overweight and obese for not doing anything. And, you know, from that, you will be able, you know, to have a sufficient level of fitness and show yourself as a high value person, one, you know, that has their physical needs taken care of as well. And from that, right, that fitness will be there to show that you know, can fight off these animals, right? Because that's what it boils down to, is having, you know, the ability, you know, to hunt and fight prey. That's what it, you know, it's been around for a long time. Like, that's the reasoning behind why, you know, those sort of bodies and physical attributes are deemed, you know, more desirable. It's simply based on that measure. And, you know, from that, you got to learn that. You got to take that into account, understand that level of fitness that you got to chase after and attain, and you will become high value in that regard. And, you know, from that, we will go into trait number 3. That is emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, right? High value men and women know their stuff, right? They have awareness on, you know, their position in the world, right? What motivates them, what keeps them going, right? They understand other people and their motivations, and, you know, in essence, they know themselves so well and other people so well that they're able to simply, you know, take charge and simply dominate every room that they enter, right? They're able to simply, you know, be the commanding force. And that's not necessarily, you know, through having the best physical body or financial status, but, you know, they, in essence, are able, you know, to have a knowledge of others and how they think, right? They're able to deliver their wisdom and their knowledge, you know, from simply walking the walk, right? Going about their business and, you know, simply developing and learning, you know, along the way. Because in essence, it's not necessarily about, you know, the championship or the trophy or the bonus and so forth, what may come directly from, you know, achieving these things, right? And we are being blocked off by these people. So let's see, let's go around and double check. So in essence, you know, you have to fall in love with the process. You gotta understand, you know, that the way, in the way itself, is where you find that salvation, that joy, right? That inspiration. That's where everything comes from. Right? It doesn't come from, you know, flashy cars, nice houses, tons of money, and so forth. It comes in the process of getting there. And from that, you will become high value. You will do things that other people are simply not capable of, right? Because some may have it, some may don't, but not all are able to get there. Right? There's people born into wealth, people born into fame, and so forth. But, you know, the people that struggle their entire lives to get there have, you know, a certain degree of intelligence that you could say is greater than them because they've been through it. So from that, you will know, you know, 3 ways to show that you are a high value man or woman. And from that, you will be good. You will know yourself, and, you know, upon verification, right, people want to test you and see your value, you'll be able to show it. And, you know, from that, we say thank you and goodbye.